This episode is brought to you by Whitaker Garage Doors, your one-stop shop for all things garage doors, proudly based in Peekskill, New York. Your home is a direct reflection of your personal style, and let's face it, your garage doors are the first thing people see when they pull up your driveway. Whether you're looking for the timeless charm of a classic carriage house door or the clean, sleek look of a basic wood finish, Whitaker Garage Doors offers traditional options for every taste and budget. I can personally vouch for their incredible service. When I had my own garage doors done, I was blown away by their timeliness, professionalism, and overall respect for their clients. Jonathan, Cassara, and their entire team are top-notch, and they really go the extra mile to ensure you're happy with the final result. So if you're in the market for a new garage door or need some repairs, give them a call or find them on Instagram at Whitaker_doors. Don't forget to tell them you're a friend of Dave's over at the No Snooze podcast. Whitaker Doors. You won't regret it. Now, back to the epi. Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? I welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. I am Dave Regina, and this is the No Snooze podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 254. As always, I'm in the booth with my brother for the first time in 2026. Claudio, the voice, Valenzuela. That's a great camera angle for you, my brother.
It's a different one.
And I am Dave, the body, Regina. We just want to welcome you to 2026. We want to say thank you for all of your support in 2025, whether you've been with us for 254 now or you're just tuning in for the very first time. We want to welcome you to the No Snooze podcast, which is essentially a call to action to not snooze on your life, to wake up and attack everything that you do, because we believe that you have two decisions every single day, right? You can wake up and attack your dreams and aspirations, or you can go back to sleep on them. So if you are here for the first time, it does not mean do not sleep. We actually encourage health and wellness and recovery, and sleep is a major part of that. So I just wanted to be clear on that. And we have a few items before we get started today. We're going to be doing a Q&A where we take questions that come in via Instagram or email, and that's from the listeners. And we love doing that because it's basically a conversation that you guys start, and this stuff is on your mind, so we want to be able to address it via our platform. And there's a couple of announcements that we have, and one of the big ones is through Action Cultivates Excellence, which is basically a spinoff of No Snooze podcast, because we had Sean Degnan on a couple years back, and him and I were able to create what is now a leadership training and transformation company. And we have ran over 50 events, impacted the lives of 1,500 plus people. And for the very first time ever, we are in partnership with Westchester County Government. And we will be hosting Westchester County's first and largest wellness expo at Westchester's most famous arena, the County Center. And we've already locked in some great speakers to be announced. But if you are a speaker and you want to either submit a keynote, if you want to submit a breakout session, you could do that via email, lead@daveregina.com, DAVEREGGINA. I really encourage people to challenge themselves in 2026. So we're going to blow that place up, and it's going to be an incredible event, basically a one-stop shop, one day, all things wellness. So more to come on that. I want to thank everybody for supporting my latest venture in 30 Lessons to Lead. I think we got a couple copies behind me here. Just want to say thank you for the support, and if you have not picked up a copy, you can please do that. And now into the episode, all right? The first thing that we do every year is pick a word. And the reason why we do this is because it's really simple, right? Sometimes goals get a little elaborate and things can get confusing, and we can get lost by month 2 of the year. And for the past, I don't know, 5 or so years, CV, right? Somewhere around there, we have been choosing a word to basically focus on not only when things get hard, but just something that you can remind yourself of daily, right? Because you may not be able to pick apart your big goal, but what you can do is center and ground yourself with intention every single day. So my word for the year is refine, right? And that word refine is basically stemmed off of my last word, which was expand. And I chose last year because I wanted to expand my impact and my reach and my service. Whereas we've been able to do that. And I would say in all, it has been a very successful, it was a successful 2025, but we're looking for a lot of improvements and room to grow there. So now personally, I feel like I have my habits, my systems, and my routines in place. And I'm just looking to refine really everything I do. I feel like refining is a form of mastery. And now that I have such a clear message within the leadership space, I feel a strong obligation to refine my standards, refine my service in how I lead with discipline and consistency as a man of faith, a father, a businessman, a partner, and motivator. So I challenge each and every one of you guys, if you haven't already chosen your word for 2026, it would be a really good time to choose that now. And again, just because you didn't choose it on the first of the year, it doesn't matter, right? You're still in January. Shit, if you can't even figure it out until February, that's fine too. We just want to encourage you to start. So I throw it back to you, CV. Do you have your word for 2026?
Well, first and foremost, Happy New Year. It's the first time we've, this is the first show in the beginning of the year,
Yes.
so Happy New Year. I wish all the best for you and everybody. And yes, I do have a word. I've been thinking about this. And by the way, as you were talking, I was waiting for my introduction. I never got my my segue into to make this little funny joke, so I guess I'll make it now. When you're like, I'm here with my brother CV, and I went from my camera to your camera, and this will be funny for the viewer, because the viewer is going to be, looking at the two cameras not simultaneously, but one after the other. When you go to the camera of me, my head is huge. And then when it goes back to you,
I have a very bean
it's
head.
like, no, not even that. My head is the size of your body.
Bro. You do have a big head.
Well, thank you. I appreciate. I'll take that. But it's the same size of your entire body on the other camera angle. So for those watching, you just saw the side by side. So I thought that was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
All right. So my word of the year. My word of the year is thrive. Yes. By the way, so remember last year we had this conversation about how do you remember the word throughout the whole year, and you gave me the little tip, like, write it somewhere and stick it somewhere. So I did. I actually wrote it, and it's crazy because I've moved from my home studio to this studio, so it's been a lot of moving things, and it is still where I left it when I originally left it, which was on my editing monitor, because that's probably what I see the most. On the very bottom left side, and my word last year was resilient or resilience.
Resilience.
So because I did that, every so often, your eyes get drawn to it. If I'm in a moment of thinking or whatever, and it makes you kind of be very much in the moment as to what the word was. So
That's
a
awesome.
tip, yeah.
What would you do? What are you going to do this year that's going to make the word thrive a little bit more prevalent in your mind? Because I do remember us having a couple conversations in 2025, and both of us were kind of like, oh, wait, what was my word of the year? So what do you think you're going to be doing to be more intentional?
So when it comes to the word thrive, this new journey of business is unlike anything I've ever done in my life. I've worked for a long time, and I've always worked in jobs or even in a career, but always, when I didn't realize then, but with such a sense of support, right? Because there's always a business office behind you. There's always other staff that are helping you out. There's always a lot of support, period. You may be overwhelmed, but there's support. So it's easy to just kind of delegate and make things kind of happen, right? So I found myself in a new position where now there is no delegation other than to me, and to whatever hat I want to wear or need to wear in that moment. So that's been it's been eye-opening when it comes to business. I knew it beforehand, but it almost like from a textbook. Now I'm living it. Now I understand the pains, the growing pains of being an entrepreneur. I'm feeling what it means to not have your steady paycheck there all the time and having to go out and get your dollar every single day. These are things that were, in theory, you understand them, but in reality, it's when it hits you, It's very different. So when I say thrive, to me, thrive means amplifying all the good things that have already started to happen, from, switching into a bigger studio, from, growing the clientele, from growing the brand, just all that stuff has been great. So now we need to amplify all that, including, the finances, including the relationships part of it. I see you struggling over there.
I know, bro.
And audience, not because I'm talking, but because he's struggling with the book. I'll give you a little glimpse for some BTS really quick. So that's kind of what I mean about thriving. So what am I going to do in place? I don't know. I've made some adjustments already to like my pricing. I've been doing some adjustments as to like how the workflow goes. I want this to be a fruitful year. So I want to really work hard at making sure that the relationships I'm building are fruitful. I'm wanting to make sure that the quality of what I'm putting out is equivalent to that fruitfulness that I want, because if not, how are you going to get it? And that's kind of how far I've made it into my little my little plan to get there.
I love it. I think the specificity is there. Obviously, we can go back and forth, and I can challenge you on specific goals if you ever want to do that. But just hearing everything that you're talking about is last year, it was a very resilient year for you, man. You had to figure out how to, begin and now operate and own a thriving business. And for anybody who is tuning in for the very first time, we are located here in Stamford, Connecticut. And honestly, podcasting is the way right now. I'm telling you, if you're looking to get your message out to the masses, there is no better medium, in my opinion, and platform. We've been doing it a long time, and I think people have to understand that too, because they may see, the rankings or see views of where we're at. That's not going to happen in the very first year. This is now year 6, right, my brother, of being here? But yeah, Kai Vision Studios and Claudio Valenzuela specifically has been my partner in this since day one. And honestly, I'm not going anywhere else. So if you're in the tri-state area, specifically New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and you want to come even record once a month, you can bang out 4 episodes, and my brother is very good at helping you create your story. So, reach out and if you guys are interested in podcasting in 26.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that, and absolutely. And I'm going to add a little something that if we need to cut later, we can. But I want people to understand, like the podcasting game, 100%. You're spot on. It is the wave right now. It is what's good. I want to kind of debunk a misconception. Podcast, and you say this all the time. Podcasting is not going to make you rich. Number one, at least not right away,
unless you're Joe Rogan.
And it's not going to even bring you money the way you think it's going to bring you money right away either. And when I say that, I take that with a grain of salt, because what I'm saying there is the way you want, meaning people record and all of a sudden the viewers and money's coming in from YouTube, from
it's actually going to be
Instagram.
negative.
It's actually going to be
because
very
you're
much
going to pay
on the
for
negative.
the service,
Correct,
and you're going to have $0 coming in.
Correct. But if you're a savvy business person, you will understand that this, no different than anything else, is the way that you put your brand out there, you grow your brand, and it all channels to hopefully something that you are trying to sell. Mm-hmm. And I say sell, again, in layman's terms, but that's what's going to grow your business. That's what's going to, ultimately, that's how you're going to see the return on your investment when it comes to getting, receiving money back. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes that's the misconception, believing that, I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars on doing a podcast. I'm gonna do a podcast, yep. And then the bank account is gonna be flowing, or I'm gonna go viral. And you've already gone viral, and it did not bring the riches that you expected, right? And that's, I think, important for people to hear, because this is a long game kind of thing, mm-hmm. And no different that you would spend your marketing dollars to put ads on Instagram, on Facebook, or whatever it is, or even flyers, paper flyers. This is the equivalent. You're putting your face and your brand and your things on a medium that's now can potentially be seen by thousands of people, if not more.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of clarify that. I love this game. Obviously, I'm in the business, so it's what I'm passionate about, and I'm happy that we started this together, because this is kind of how we've kind of grown independently and also as a group. So
I mean, everything you're saying, bro, is spot on there. And even think about from the journey of you and I, right? I mean, you're still doing stuff for free, right? I still do stuff for free, but this podcast happened to be the thing that introduced me to Sean Degnan.
Right.
And now I have a 6-figure business running on that end.
Right.
You doing all this work for free has now led to so many other people seeing what you're doing in your studio that now you have how many podcasts under your belt?
There's like 15 out there.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not trying to keep count.
No, I mean, but it's a beautiful thing. And what you're saying, that perspective needs to be there, because even for us in this game, like we're still not making money from the podcast per se. But podcasting itself is allowing us to get our message out, to repurpose content,
100%,
which is super important. And that's how you build, man.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean,
spot on.
literally, you're here listening to two people that have built a business based on a podcast.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beautiful takeaway from this whole thing.
That's right. All right, baby. Let's get into some questies. You know, and as CV is grabbing them off the phone, you can always submit your podcast questions anytime you see an Instagram story pop up on my account at Dave Reg or at No Snooze Podcast, or via email at no snooze podcast at gmail.com.
And here we go now with the Hooked on Phonics 2026 edition. All right. So, question number 1. You would think that by all these years, me reading questions, my reading would get better.
Yep.
I don't know if it is or not. Maybe that could be a poll. Has Claudio's reading gotten better? If you could give one piece of leadership advice to your daughter or younger generation, what would it be?
First and foremost, I guess I'll do 2 parts, right? For my daughter, or really anybody, it's respect. Respect is, I mean, in any form of life, respect, kindness would be at the top in its simplest form. Now, to the younger generation, and even specifically my daughter, as she's only 5 years old, but I'm talking to a lot of youth these days as well that range in age from, I'd say, 10 to 20. And the most important, and I think the best lesson that I try to speak from through experience, right? I always want to share my experience versus like teaching you something, is the circle that you keep. I think as adults, we see this now and the importance of it. But can you imagine if you were a child or a teenager and you had a parent in your ear literally telling you that the 3 to 5 people that you hang around are going to become the byproduct of what your future is? And for me, that was true at every stage of my life. And I'm sure people said it here and there, but I am very intentional about delivering this message to my child at the age of 5. So when I hear any level of negativity or negative behavior, I put my daughter on alert right away. And I say, hey, look, that's not how we're supposed to respond. Yes, these people can be in your class and they could be classmates of yours, but you need to surround yourself with people who share the same type of habits that you share, right? My daughter wakes up and cleans her room and makes her bed. I don't really want her hanging around kids that are just a disaster. Now, 5 years old, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but you know, as you get into high school, like you need to be mindful of this.
Yeah.
Because it's really critical. And even me, like I love, you know, my circles that I've been a part of. And during my party years, right, with all my people that I was partying with, we were all just doing the exact same thing, you know? So you literally become a byproduct of these 2, 3, 4, 5 people that you hang around. And it's a fact. And now it's a fact for me, even in business. And honestly, I don't really remember getting very specific about that until I became assistant commissioner, where I wanted to surround myself specifically with other commissioners to see how they like operated and moved. And specifically, I've talked about these guys before, Andre Early and Terrence Jackson. You know, I needed to see on a business level how they operated, and they had such an impact on me. And I kind of just saw it, so it became my norm. And then ever since then, and that was at the age of 25, I've really tried to be specific about that concept.
Yeah, you know, behavior patterns are one of the things that stick the quickest, and they can last for a really long time. So if you make the conscious decision to make a good choice versus a bad one, it could stick with you for a long time. Yep. That's in the good and in the bad. What would you tell a kid? Because kids are kids,
yep.
And youth, no matter what generation you're in, as we go through youth, we are very stubborn into like kind of the way I think we just want to do things. Mm-hmm. There's no better rhyme or reason. What do you tell a teenage youth who's kind of being stubborn and not really taking what you're talking about like to heart?
It's a great question and a great follow-up. But I think I would turn it to them and what they actually love and like to do, right? For me, my brain, because of how I grew up, it's immediately going to like an athlete. It would be maybe who you're talking about. I don't know, but that's how I'm going to interpret it, right?
Well, that's what I was. So
right.
I don't know.
Okay, so you take it to athletics. I think I would, and what I do try to do now is show what real alignment means, right? Like, why is it that on the basketball court, if you want to be an NBA star, you are willing, or on the field, you're willing to go hard. You're willing to show up early for practice. You're willing to try to be the hardest worker. You want to dive on the floor for the ball. You want to make the extra tackle. You want to do all these things, but you can't even clean your room, and you want to be a millionaire in the NBA?
Now, that's an elite athlete, though, and even elite at the high school level. Most high school kids are not that. Oh, I'll be honest, though. This generation is probably more driven and determined, or more kind of regimented than I think prior generations. But it still applies. The majority of them are not. What do you tell a kid who doesn't have that in his forefront? So yeah, maybe basketball is his thing, and he loves it.
What about social media? I hear a lot of days, right? Kids that aren't even into athletics, they all want to be social media stars.
Well, that's a conversation I used to have when I worked with youth myself.
Yeah, they want to be social media stars.
Yeah, they don't understand the amount of work that it takes.
Correct.
And it's a lot of work, and especially to be a star. Well, that means that you're consistently in people's faces with a message that is being received.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think the stubbornness is going to last. One, they have to respect you, so they have to respect me.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be the one that's talking to them, and by respect, I don't mean like treating me with kindness. In their brain, they have to really respect the man that I am to want to receive the advice that I'm giving. Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So if they do that and they understand, then I have a little bit more leverage, obviously, to talk to them. But I think what you're saying is accurate 100%, right? If they want to be this social media star, talking to them about what that discipline and consistency looks like every single day for years, to post on your TikTok, to post on your social media, trying to eventually, create a business off of it. If they want to start their own business. A lot of them are into clothing companies and, all these different gadgets. They're trying to sell things. Sales is very hard, right? Sales is a number game.
The hardest.
So I think it's like, look, you want to sell $1 million worth of your product, but you can't even wake up and, work out for 20 minutes to get your habits and routines right? So I think teaching them the importance of what alignment really looks like early on, because for me, I didn't grasp that concept until really late.
Yeah. Well, I think most people.
It sucks. But I'm committed as a father to at least making sure that my daughter's aware of this stuff very early.
Well, I'll tell you this: when it comes to your daughter, it's completely different because number one, it's your daughter, so you have access to her all the time. So you are literally molding every pattern that you possibly can, so that she will ultimately get at a younger age what you have today.
Right.
And that's probably the most beautiful thing about being a father is seeing your hard work, and it's going to go back to hard work, right? That you're putting into raising your daughter. And as she gets older and as you start to see how her behavior patterns start developing and you start seeing some of the good things that you've done, that's going to be, I'm sure, like a super proud moment for you. So, I think when it comes to you doing it with your daughter, I think it's a beautiful thing. So.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
For the past 5 years, I've trusted Kai Vision Studio with my podcast. And every time, Claudio delivers an exceptional experience. The setup here is flawless. Professional lighting, crystal clear audio, and a custom set that makes every episode look elite. As someone who speaks on leadership, I know how important it is to show up with clarity and confidence. This studio allows me to do just that. The quality here isn't just about the equipment, it's about the environment. Claudio has created a space where I can focus on my message, knowing the production will be sharp, engaging, and professional. In a world flooded with content, standing out matters. And having a studio like this gives me the edge to produce videos and podcasts that truly connect with my audience. If you're serious about creating high-quality content, I can't recommend Kai Visions enough. Claudio makes you feel at home, yet delivers at the highest level. 5 years in, I'm not going anywhere else.
Ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is a short one. This is the kind of question I need. What are your top goals in 2026?
Ooh, I got a lot. I got a lot of goals, man. And I'm gonna put some out that are pretty big and almost unattainable in my brain. And I'm trying to set goals like that because even if I do come up short now, I feel like I have the habits, routine, structure, pattern, whatever word you want to use, to at least move in the right direction, right? I'm not going to throw something out there that's like, so crazy that I'm not going to even, come close to it. But we'll talk about it a little bit. First, we'll start with some personal goals, right? So on a personal level, I want to, and this one's important, man, I want to memorize one Bible verse per week for the entire year. So that's 52. Put me on the spot right now. The first one of the year is be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That's week one. So every week I want to memorize because last year I was successful in reading the Bible, but the Bible also says to meditate on God's word. So I am trying to take specific leadership-based verses and memorize them and embed them in my brain so that kind of becomes my thought process. You got something?
Well, this is kind of like remember back in the day, this is a 10-page.
Yeah.
This is
tough.
You're working in very similar patterns, my friend.
Yes. Yep.
That's it's good. I feel like you overwhelmed me just with that because that's big. That's
a big one. It's a big one. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do that one. On another personal level, I want.
Wait, there is 52 like chapters. I don't want to say. I don't want.
Well, there's so many. I don't know the exact number of books in the Bible, but you have the Old Testament, the New Testament.
Yeah.
The book is 1,800 pages. So I'm just committed to memorizing one verse. There's thousands and thousands and thousands.
Oh, so this is not just a 1-year deal.
No,
this may
I'm
go
picking.
On for
I'm picking specific leadership-based verses.
I may have to cut this out. I don't want any negativity coming my way
No, you're good,
for not
man.
knowing this.
No, you're good. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know. Even me, there's so much that I'm still learning with the Bible specific.
The fact that you know how many pages, like you already, I already know you. I bet you have this down to like a mathematical science. That's how long it could probably take you.
Yeah, but that's just really just repetition, right? That's all that is going to take, and keeping it at the forefront. So like I had to, I took a notebook, a fresh, clean notebook, and I wrote it down, and now I keep it on my kitchen counter. So when I walk by, and I also have it in my phone, so anytime I want, I go to that note, I just read it over and over again, just to get it embedded in my brain. That's really it. I want to read to my daughter every day that I have her, just for a couple minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a hard commitment, especially at night now. For whatever reason, it's really hard for me to put my phone down, man. It's so hard because business in all aspects is on the up, and that requires attention. And, I'm constantly getting emails, constantly being put on group messages. And, you want to respond to these people. And I'm really struggling with that balance. But the one thing that I'm super committed to is that nighttime routine. So specifically, we've been teaching her how to tie her shoes every day. And she's actually the first one. Shout out to Callie Michelle, the first one in her kindergarten class to be able to tie her shoes. And we are proud of that because a lot of people put their kids in Velcro, which I do too, because it's just annoying to teach them.
Wait, I wear Velcro right now. What do you mean?
But Callie Michelle, we practice every day for about 2.5 weeks, 5 minutes a day. And my girl knows how to tie her shoes and even hit the double knot.
Want to know a fun fact?
Yep.
So I'm very good with knots. I love knots. I think I don't know if I never was a Boy Scout or anything, but like they learn how to do knots, and I got super intrigued with like learning knots. I love it. I think it's great. The irony in this whole thing, I don't think I've tied my shoes since probably the mid '90s.
Because of swag, though.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, it wasn't swag. In the very beginning, it was a soccer thing. Like when you wear cleats all the time. When you get out of the cleats, you want nothing that resembles the tightness that a cleat is. So I got very used to, like I'm telling you, mid-90s. I'm old, man. Never tie my shoes. Until this day, I don't think there's a pair of shoes that I tie. I struggle sometimes when I wear like a dressy shoe. And, you have to like tie so I'll tie it. But I don't tie my shoes. They're always kind of like open, and it's very comfortable for me. Even how I try shoes on, they have to fit like that because if they're too big and your foot is coming, obviously doesn't. So I don't know. Fun facts.
That's hilarious. I'm still staying on that personal level.
Sorry, by the way.
No, all good. All good. So you got reading the Bible verse. You got memorizing the Bible verse, reading to my daughter every day, taking my queen out on a date once every 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
Out. Really being intentional about that. And it doesn't have to be a steak dinner. Listen, Katie girl, we're not going to steak dinner every night. We might hit the coffee shop or something, but intentional time out of the house where her and I, just together,
bond.
Two of us are able to bond.
That's a tough one. And not a tough one because you don't want to do it, but sometimes life gets in the way. You know, that's something that I've always talked about with my Catherine. We both have Catherines, and we try. And it's not easy, man. No. Like we'll start, we'll be good.
Quick.
Yeah, so quick. And then it's like, oh, well, something came up, and then you're very lenient on either person who needs to skip one. And before you know it, you've kind of fallen off. And it's a tough one.
No, 100%.
This
one's big, man, too. Taking 2 intentional days off from the gym.
Oh,
mean
per
this
week?
per week.
2
per week. Yeah,
wow.
man.
You went from not being able to do one.
I can't even do one. I'm still struggling. So, ironically, today I have an 18-hour day ahead of me. And this is happening, frequently. We also have Ace Warwick, which just kicked off with Alan Collins.
That's awesome.
I mean, we got 35 guys coming to the first dinner.
That is awesome.
Which is crazy, man. We're tapping into a whole other, group of men, and we're so excited to lead and impact you guys. But this requires work. Sean Degnan and I got to travel, an hour and 25 minutes to Warwick. We finished that dinner at probably 10:30 at night, drive back home by midnight, wake up and do it again tomorrow. So what I'm doing is on those days specifically, I'm making sure that I'm taking an active rest day. So today I woke up and it felt amazing to actually take the pressure off myself not to work out. And for whatever reason, I am very good at talking about consistency and discipline. And for most people, I think it's challenging for them to work out. For me, and this is not like cockiness or anything, it's challenging for me to take off because of what working out does for my brain. I have a hard time, if I don't move my body, I almost feel negative throughout the day. So me taking 2 active rest days per week is not only going to be really beneficial on my physical body, but it's the same challenge that I'm telling people to go work out 5 times a day. I got to actually do the reverse and make sure I'm intentional about taking 2 days off. And it was amazing, man. I slept really well, and I woke up excited not to work out. And I'm hoping that I can break that little curse of the David Goggins mindset of just go all the time, because my body hurts, man. It hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it's balance. I mean, I'm loving the fact that you're saying this, because it's one for one, it's humanizing you.
Hold me accountable, bro.
But it's good. It's good that you're thinking this way. This is a good thing.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
I'm getting older, and I can work out with the best of them. But I can feel that my body needs it, and I'm excited and committed to this journey. So I'm looking at, most Wednesdays and Sundays. But then when we have Ace workouts and I have to work out on Sunday, I'll take another day throughout the week. But it's something I want to be very specific with. I want to sell out the county center for that event that we spoke about, April 25th, 2026. Health is wealth. And I want to blow up Ace, man. Like, I want Ace to find its way to just impact more people, right? And me, Sean, Alan, Joe K, Nick Benente, all the guys we've been talking at like these different like pop-ups coming to, different cities around. And this is the first test in Warwick. So the expansion piece of Ace is huge. For No Snooze, I want to get in the booth 40 times this year. Which is something that we've been able to do pretty consistently. But you see, with everything that's going on, man, it's still hard to show up, So, committed to 40 on the books there. I want to generate $1 million in book sales, book signings, speaking engagements, and anything to do with Dave Regina's leadership brand. And now that's a major stretch.
Is that cumulative, or is that independently, all the different things that you said?
No, that's
all cumulative.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Which is a stretch for me, man. Yeah. I haven't touched. I'm being very transparent. I wish I was close to that. But I feel like this word refine. If I can refine my structure in my system, and I can now outreach, right? Say I get into colleges and I'm speaking, which I've already been speaking at a couple. But if I can find a way to almost automate this to where I'm reaching the masses and now I'm getting booked more and more and more, this becomes attainable. If I hit a good ad on Amazon and I sell 60,000 copies of the book, it could happen, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds crazy, but I already at this point now have a product that I can actually push. I just have to figure out the way to refine, to bring it back to that word of the year. But that would be, one that I'm almost even embarrassed to put out there because, my brain wants to tell me, man, you're not worth it. You're not even going to come close to that. And I might not, but you know what? I'm going to go down swinging. And if it's not this year, it'll be the next year. And if it's not the next year, it'll be the following year.
What do you do to get over that struggle of putting a goal out like that big that even, like you just said, is probably not your most comfortable?
Oh,
how do you get over
super
that?
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I can sit there, right? And this is just me and how I process things. I can say that goal out publicly, which I just did, and then not take the action steps. Or if I just gave that example with the universities, my answer is going to be very clear. Did I outreach to 500 universities by the end of the year? Or did I only outreach to 25? I can't sit back at the end of the year and be like, yo, you know what? I only made, $100,000 and my goal was, $1 million. And you know what? I only outreached 100 universities. Well, then there you go. There's the answer. So the thing that can cripple you is actually not taking those actions. But I have specific action steps that I need to take. I want to speak on 6 big stages this year. How many different conferences and opportunities do I have to email and outreach to get to 6? The answer is going to be yes, guaranteed I'm going to get to 6, right? If I do enough. Now, if I only reach out to 50 and I get 4, well, I should have reached out to 50 more. So I think I'm the only one that can hold me back, right? On my work phone, I have the quote. It says, "You are your only limit." And this is a perfect example of that. But I'll be very honest, that $1 million goal is super uncomfortable for me to put out.
And you're okay just putting it out there? And
I mean, listen, because
does that do something for you? Putting it out there on the camera?
Well, I'm sweating now. I mean, I'm sweating, but also it puts it into perspective, man. Like I really have to go out and attack. And again, the truth is, dude, if I made $100,000 just from speaking, still a win. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not talking about my career, right? Like that's a separate avenue. But if I do even close to that, it's still a win. But this is now me putting out a goal that like I do want to attain. And I want to be able to grasp it. But again, I'm also okay with this one being 2026 goal, 2027, 2028. But I'm taking the actions to get there.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm going to give you one. Even though you didn't ask me, I'm going to give you one. Just because I thought about it as you were talking. And this is uncomfortable for me. Anyone that knows me, and you're going to probably chuckle when I tell you this, I want to, and you can see it, I think today I took a little bit of a step in that direction. I want to put myself out there more in front of the camera. And I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not saying I want to have a podcast or something like that. I don't even know that's the end goal. But I do know that I need to get more comfortable being in front of the camera and talking and just getting myself out there. And for the same reasons I tell everybody, that's the craziest part, that it's for brand recognition, it's for your brand to get bigger, it's for growth, it's for that stuff. Not so much for anything else, because I can't even look at myself in this monitor that I have in front of me.
You tried to duck me for 6 years, bro, but I've got your voice on.
You got the voice
about 200 episodes, man.
First of all, you're the first one to get my voice out there. You were the first one to get my face out there. So, kudos. You were the beginning. Man, And 6 years later, now I want to be more intentional with that.
There you go. Good. But that's how it happens, bro. Like, I also think, with goals and stuff, people have to realize that you have to want these goals, man. Like, people can't want the goal for you. I can't say, yo, Claudio, because I do want you to generate $1 million in your business, right? But I also know what that stress is going to look like for you, like how crazy that is going to be. But if you don't want that yourself, you'll never attain anything. And it doesn't have to be $1 million. It could be 100,000. But the person who's setting this goal has to want this, right? And my only challenge to you back, I got something in my eye, would be, what do you mean by putting yourself out there, right? Like, what is the long-term vision? And if you don't know, you don't know. But then you need that action step and that plan to go get that, right? And the long-term goal can be there, but the goal for 2026 could be 7 steps behind the long-term goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know what the end goal is, to be honest. I think, to be frank, I think that at some point in the long, if I have to think about the long game right now, it would be something in the educational kind of realm of like recording. So recording educational type videos or that kind of format. I don't know if the podcast yet is a thing for me. So that's kind of the long. So that's not really kind of clear. I know on the immediate, I want to do more of what I'm doing right now, which is actually speaking, actually being on camera, actually partaking in a conversation or some kind of like that's out in the public. Right. And that's something that I want because it's extremely uncomfortable in every facet of the way, you know? And you know that because
bro.
You've gone through it.
But also, to that same point, right? Like there's so many tangible things you can do immediately, right? Like once a month, and I'm not saying this because it's me, but once a month you could be at the Ace dinner in front of 40 guys talking, having a conversation.
See, why you get
what I'm
crazy?
saying?
You get crazy.
No. But listen, right? Like it depends how serious of a goal this is because everything you really want is already there. You just have to put yourself into the mix, right? Like Adam Vora has mad events, right? Making sure that you're at all of those. Brandon Godoris is right here in Stanford. So hitting up, HQ every time he has an event. Like you really putting yourself out there is good to say. But then challenging yourself to those specifics of like, you know what, I'm going to 4 Warm Hearts. I'm going to 4 Adam Voras. I'm going to, 17 Ace dinners. All that stuff, I think, plays to the goal.
Well, let me be clear. I don't want to go talking in public that much.
But what do you think the public practice does for you behind the camera?
Oh, I think it's a harder version.
Of course.
Because the camera, as scary, as intimidating as the camera is, it's just a camera.
And you could delete if you want.
Exactly. The other scary part of this is when it goes out. And that's when it gets kind of on the same kind of level, I think, as speaking in a room full of people. Mm-hmm. But I hear you. I mean, it's like you already know. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my comfort area.
And I think you're doing so much better.
Oh, thank you. I'll be mindful of being out there more and maybe speaking a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You know what I have a problem with? Maybe you can help me with this because this is I think. It's already a challenge for me to get in front of a group of people and have to speak out. When I've had to do it, I do it. Mm-hmm. Again, never been my comfortable spot. But a lot of times, if my mind is not focused on that, I don't respond well. So, and it's ironic because here I am talking with you, and it's very natural. I'm feeling very natural. I don't feel pressured. I don't feel like the walls are caving in on me. Mm-hmm. But sometimes if I'm, to give an example, and not that it happened because it didn't, but your last book signing right here in Stanford in at Warm Heart Life, right? We were there and, you introduced, well, I was grateful that you introduced me and like whatever other sponsors were there. But immediately going into it, I was already anticipating. I'm gonna have to get up. I'm gonna have to say something. What do I say? I don't want to. It's almost like I don't know what to say. I'm not comfortable in that space to say those things. I remember years ago when you and Mike would talk about like the imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. So real. I don't think I felt it as harshly as I felt it in the last year and a half or so. So those are the things that kind of go through my mind. So if I'm like super like focused on something, which that day I was kind of recording you. But if I'm focused on something, it's almost like I can't take myself out of this place to go just jump into that little moment and speak because it's like almost like I have blockage. It blocks.
Right. So, I mean, the only thing, and I've spoke about it a lot, I believe, but it's super important because a lot of people focus on their weakness. And I just did. Yeah, I don't think that's the best place to focus, right? You just said that made you super uncomfortable, but you really like this back and forth right here.
Yeah.
So I think you should focus on your strength. Well, do more of the things that you feel really comfortable in, and then eventually, I do believe by you still inserting yourself and showing up to a dinner and introducing yourself in front of 40 people, pushing yourself a little bit in those boundaries, but making sure your core is sticking to what you actually are good at. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people miss that. Like, I don't really get into stuff that I don't like to do and that I don't enjoy. You know that, right? And that's why I think I've been as successful in this space for 6 years now, being able to show up every single week because I don't let my mind go to the things that I'm not really good at. I try to focus and hone in on the things that I'm great at.
That's a skill in itself. Mm-hmm. That's tough, right? To not get consumed by your own thoughts,
right,
and allow that to kind of determine how you move forward. Mm-hmm. So, duly noted.
Yeah, and you would actually be happy. I draw with Callie. all the time.
Yes.
I do. And I'm getting really good at it, bro.
Artistic
Better watch
Dave.
out. I might have a painting.
Artistic Reg.
Yeah,
Hopefully
baby.
it wasn't a sip and paint, right?
No.
We're still on the straight and narrow.
2 years, man, was January 1st. We were able to hit 2 years of sobriety, baby.
That's incredible, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Shout out to Boundless Nutrition. Because if you're serious about your health, your performance, and your lifestyle, this place is a game changer. Boundless Nutrition is a hub for people who refuse to live average. We're talking ready-to-go healthy meals for busy professionals, sports performance supplements, vitamins you can trust, training gear, and the best protein shake bar around. So whether you're chasing strength, fat loss, endurance, or just trying to feel better day to day, they've got you covered. And let me say this, Amanda and the entire Boundless team are incredible, knowledgeable, welcoming, and genuinely invested in helping you win. If you're in Westchester County, New York, stop by 54 Washington Avenue in Pleasantville and experience it for yourself. You can tell them you're a friend of Dave's and find them on Instagram at Boundless Nutrition NY. Because at the end of the day, change your lifestyle, change your life. Now, back to the epic.
We're moving on to the next question?
Yes, sir.
All right. I just became the sole breadwinner for my family, which I wanted. While I want this, I feel immense pressure to succeed and I'm getting stressed. What advice do you have when going into a new role and getting through stressful times?
So this is a great question, and congratulations. This is a massive undertaking, just as a man, a leader, being able to step in as a sole breadwinner for you and your family. Super dope. But my question back to you is, why wouldn't there be pressure attached to that? I don't know, right? Like, I think what you're feeling is super normal, but now I think how you move forward and how you act is critical. I think you need to, I would, focus on preparing myself versus proving myself, right? That's very important, because if you're not prepared for something, then you tend to try to act like, oh yeah, I am that guy, when really you may not be that guy, but you're forced to step into this, right? And preparation is huge. You have to be you have to have the awareness of, you know what, this is not a trial run right now, right? This is going to be your life. You're the one that's providing on this financial level for your family, which is a massive undertaking. So doing the things that you know are going to prepare you for the stress, i.e. talking to your partner about what maybe needs to be taken care of around the house, within the relationship, really setting specific and clear boundaries around everything. Because if you're now providing that, there also is going to be other things that fall off that need to be picked up by your partner. So this is a very tough thing. I think where I went wrong as I transitioned different roles in my life, going from, just an employee to a commissioner, was I did what I'm telling you not to do. I tried to go in and prove myself right away versus being a little bit more vulnerable of like, look, this is my transition period. I'm happy to learn from those around me, instead of just going in like I'm the assistant or deputy commissioner at this time, and this is what we're going to be doing. I think there's a time and a place for that. But this is now a new season, right? And you also got to understand that this transition period is very temporary, and it's going to be a temporary 6-month window and a temporary year. And if you put that in your head with your family and you guys talk about that, when those pressure moments hit, you're going to be like, all right, look, we're already prepared. We knew that we were going to have to cut back on some spending here because we only have one income. So I think the preparation is the most important thing. And losing the ego, that's another thing I wish I did a little bit earlier in my life, is losing that sense of ego, right? Right now, it's a great role to be in, especially financially, supporting your family, your wife, kids, if that's in the cards for you. But this is heavy stuff, man. This is not something that's simple by any means,
Yeah, no, I mean, the question is tough.
Yeah.
What would you say is challenging in your current relationship with your girlfriend? Relationship advice.
I should have left that one out. What is challenging in my current relationship? Well, first and foremost, I got a queen. Shout out to Katie girl. That's what Callie calls her. She's like, hey, Katie girl. A true queen in every sense of the word, but also somebody who challenges me like nobody ever has. And I have a deep appreciation for that challenge, even though sometimes I get upset at it and we go back and forth because we're very similar in that aspect. But truly, I am so grateful for you. I would say the most challenging piece that we've dealt with is me having a child, and not her having any level of, I don't know what the word is, resentment towards my daughter or anything like that, but more of me being the issue because, Callie's been in my life for the past 5 years. I know what it's like to be a parent and have a child at all times now in the past 5 years, so it's my norm. What I did a really poor job at within the relationship is the expectation that somebody who doesn't have kids is going to come into the relationship and automatically understand what it's like to have a child, right? Like the whole world tends to shift, right? And I think it's super critical to understand that because there's a lot of people out there who date individuals with children, who marry individuals that already have children. And if you don't have a child yourself, it's a completely different lifestyle. And I almost feel that I did a disservice for specifically the past year of us living together until she spoke up multiple times and says, look, I love your daughter more than anything. But also there are certain times that like she doesn't have children. So she's used to being able to relax on a Sunday, right? Or relax when she gets home. Whereas when you have a child, it's go, 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 go until that child goes to sleep. And especially in the age when she came into Callie's life at 3, 4, and 5 years old. So that's been, I think, the biggest challenge that we've had, and we continue to just evolve within the challenge. And here's the other thing. I don't think challenges like this are bad. I don't think they're negative. I think they're learning opportunities and a learning curve. And thank God she wants children of her own. So she's so grateful to have Callie in her life, and she's such an incredible mother figure. And we call her bonus mom. Right, that's Callie's bonus mom, and it's a beautiful dynamic that we have. But it's not easy, And my expectation of her had to really change because I had to be empathetic and understanding that like her whole life shifted when she moved into my house, and now basically has a 5-year-old child.
Yeah, that's got to be challenging in so many different ways.
Yeah, real talk.
So kudos to her. Kudos to you guys.
Real talk, man.
But it's a beautiful thing. Once things kind of start getting into synergy, it's a good thing. Here's my favorite question of the day, and the last question of the day. I hope you're ready for it.
What are you having for lunch?
Oof, that is a good question.
That's a good question.
Actually, I got a wisdom tooth taken out.
Oof.
Oh,
Jesus!
I don't recommend it.
I told you that story where homeboy was standing over me.
Yeah.
Do you remember? And he
yes, you did. Yeah. Well,
and he's pulling it out.
Luckily for me, I did not have that experience.
You went out?
No, I didn't go out, but it wasn't that hard
for
him to pull it out.
It's crazy.
But it's
nasty.
Yeah, it's tough. And then like it's like, so it doesn't hurt.
It's just open.
But it's like it's open and it's like sore. It's just sore. My jaw is
When'd
sore.
you get it?
Monday.
Dude,
it's very, very recent. But I'm good.
Remember what happened to me though? So I had
it was awful.
And a communication issue, it's called.
Communication?
So, communication.
You weren't talking?
No. Communication in the sinuses. So after I got it pulled, there was this open pocket. And when I would drink anything, it started to leak out of my nose.
Oh my God.
Because there was a hole up there. Yeah, it was bad.
Holy
and
crap.
They said it only, so you know what's going on in my nose. Like my nose has been jacked up forever. So because of that, my airways and my pathways in my sinuses are jacked. So anytime I would take a sip of any substance, any water or anything, it would literally leak out of my nose. And I made it worse because I thought it was cool. So I'm like blowing snot rockets out.
Way. Oh
I was like, look at this. I would take a sip of water, close my mouth, and then I would fling the water out through my nose. And what I was doing was I was making that hole bigger. So I had to go back and they had to put a metal plate in to cover up the hole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow, that's
sucked.
Cool. That's wild. You know what's crazy? So one of the things that comforts the area is like cold water. So it's ironic that you're saying that was happening to you. So I'll put cold water in my mouth.
It's terrible.
And I'll just kind of hold it there and it feels good. It soothes because
Just put ice in it.
I don't know. I don't want something jagged or hard, but the cold water does a good job. Yeah, it kind of soothes it right away.
Gotcha.
So I'm assuming I don't have a hole that's connected to something else.
You would know immediately.
Yeah, but it feels good, man. But it's
Oof, that's a tough recovery.
yeah.
You're good.
So anyway, leading to the question, ready? Where do you start?
Love this question, bro. No context, no nothing. Where do you start?
In the beginning.
In the beginning, God. That's literally the start of the Bible.
That's a super broad question.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, I'm just going to take it, I guess, with context to how I'm interpreting the question. I think the short answer is right where you are, right? I think the most ridiculous thing that I hear in my life is start when you're ready. What does that mean? That's like taking somebody that's not in shape and being like, I'm going to magically get in shape and then go to the gym because now I'm ready because I'm in shape, right? You actually have to go to the gym and eat properly to get in shape. So I think it's almost completely reverse, right? You don't get ready first. You get ready by starting the actions.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of, I think, the biggest misconceptions of life in general is you get told, start when you're ready. If you're starting that business, you're never going to have enough money to start the business. In fact, we all have the exact same thing. And it's a post I put up on Instagram the other day, got shared hundreds of times. In the beginning, we all have the same thing. You got 0 sales, you got 0 support, and you got 0 clients. Ready, start. It's tough to do, you know? So I think sitting there and being like, oh, where? The only thing I'll say is like you do have to have some level of a vision of what you want to do. But then once you have that vision and you say, you know what? I want to get in better shape. I want to make more money. The plan has to go. You got to go. There's never going to be a time that you're like, yep, now I'm ready.
Right. So I guess I would add by saying to that question, rebut it with another question, which is, it's for the person. Like, well, what do you want?
Right.
Because once you know what you want, like you're saying, now you can kind of build a strategic plan to get there. And that's going to give you a starting point. If that's as, I guess, black and white as the question is, to answer it, you know?
I want to say I appreciate you, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
We are, listen, I think it's only up.
Thriving.
From here, baby. Thrive and refine.
Thrive and refine in 2026.
There we go, baby. And listen, to you guys, the listeners, we just want to say thank you for the support. We're here. We've been here for 6 years. And if you're just tuning in now, I encourage you to actually go back to the beginning and listen to what we've been all about. So we're so grateful. We're happy that you're here. And we're excited to put out 40, all right? 40 episodes. You good with that, CV?
Yes, sir.
40 episodes in 2026. All right. So you can do a couple things here to support us, right? You can shop the latest merch at nosnoozeshop.com, or you can grab a copy of the book on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, or if you want it signed and personalized to you, right from daveregina.com. All right. I want to encourage you. I want to inspire you in 2026 to just be a better version of yourself. And that doesn't take much. One workout, one extra conversation with your spouse, hydrating a little bit more, moving that needle in your business by reaching out to 5 people a week, right? Figuring out the things that are going to make you better. We'll be here to motivate you. And as always, until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
Welcome to 2026, baby. Let's get it. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's another epi in the books. You can follow us on Instagram at No Snooze Podcast and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Shop the latest merch at nosnoozeshop.com. Come on.